Welcome to my literacy portfolio for Read 3305. The first thing we can find in this portfolio is I made a lot of notes on all the books that we were able to read or we were given the opportunity to read, the selection to read. I tried to write down every week one of them at a time, and I just underline or highlighted the one that I liked the most. The first thing that we can find is the list of competencies for the program EC through 6 for grade 3205. The first competency is competency 1, which is oral language. This one we can find what is it about and what teachers are supposed to know and put in practice. The second competency is phonological and phonemic awareness. The third competency is alphabetic principle, and it's what a beginning teacher is supposed to know what it's all about. Competency 4 is literacy development, and we have the competency. And in this one, I added the discussion number 1, which was building a literacy community, where we were able to share some of the memories about those memories while reading. Discussion 2 was about reading enrichment. Discussion number 3 was quality versus taste in book, and I chose the book The Day You Begin. Competency 5 is word analysis and identification skills. We have the competency and what it's all about. We also have competency 6, which is fluency reading. On this one, I added the reader theaters that I created, which was over the book The One and Only Ivan, and I had a hard time with that book. Competency 7, reading comprehension and applications. For competency 7, I added the competency as well as making connections here, which has the 5 different types of strategies. Has visualization strategy. It contains the questioning strategy, the synthesizing that we didn't go over with, but we were able to read about it. Making inferences, which is reading between the lines. I had a hard time understanding that, but after reading several times, I finally got it. I added here the bookmark connections that we did over seed hooks, text to solve, text to rule, and text to text. And over visualization, I really enjoyed Owlmon by Jane Jolin. That book was amazing. The illustration, the way the teacher read it, and the word selection by the author was really good. So I added it here too as a way of reminding that it was a really good book, and I really added to my books. Illustrated books for discussion 4, chapter 4 and 8. The visualization strategy. I did it with, I read the book When You Reach Me, and that's where I was able to identify every single sense. I saved a copy. Reader response, the questioning poem, I was able to do it with When You Reach Me, was Miranda mostly. The inference strategy was over Mockingbird. And here are my different inferences that I did. Discussion 5 has been added to competency 7.2, and it contains poetry and folklore genres. I chose the magic fish for that one. Discussion number 6, it was informational books. I think I chose the giant squid for that one. I really like that one. Discussion number 7, historical fiction, Train to Somewhere. I had a hard time with Train to Somewhere. It brought some emotions to me, but it was a really good book. Multicultural books, discussion number 8, I chose Lotus and Feather, and that is one of my favorite books now. I really love animals, and I enjoyed those books where the animals are able to live and be free. I also chose Strigonana for week 8, and it was a really fun multicultural book. Contemporary realistic fiction, discussion number 9, Mockingbird, was the book I did my discussion about. Competency 8 is vocabulary development, and it's the competency and what it's all about. Competency 9, reading, inquiry, and research. Is the competency one the beginner teacher is supposed to know. Competency 10, writing conventions. Competency 11, written communication. I added Folk's personal narrative here. I had a good time having my personal narrative here and connecting the stories of all the characters in the book. I like that book and the way it was written, that it brought me from the beginning to the end and back to the beginning. It was really good. I also added my 3 poems. The Price to Pay was my limerick poem. My number 2 poem was the haiku poem. I named it The Reason. And my number 3 poem was the concrete poem, The Pyramid Show Over When You Reach Me. That is about, has to do with the book When You Reach Me. Here's my concrete poem. Miranda's mom was so into that show, so I learned about it. I also added my literacy history autobiography survey, as well as the written reflection about it. Competency 12, viewing and representing. I added the compare and contrast chart about Mockingbird. I chose to compare and contrast Caitlin with Michael, and my character map about Caitlin. I really like that book too. It was powerful. Competency 13, assessment of developing literacy. And it's the competency and what it's all about. That's my portfolio. And the class assignment or project that I enjoyed the most was, there were many of them, but I really enjoy reading The One and Only Ivan and creating the reader theater for it, because I feel like in the future, when I become a teacher, I can help children create empathy for animals, because this world belongs not to humans but to every other creature in it. So I liked it. I really enjoy reading that book. It was very emotional, and the assignment that we had to do about it was the reader theater. Was, to me, as I took it as a reflection. That's what I value it. Something important I'm taking from this course is that I like that the teacher didn't test us, didn't say, okay, this is the final, this is the midterm. We didn't have tests for this class, but we were able to grow and learn a lot because we were able to read, we were able to understand by practicing, and we don't need to be tested to be able to learn or just to have a number. Thank you so much, Dr. Cassie.